Sheffield Wednesday's got a replay.
Absolutely. All right. Hello and welcome back to the For the Badge podcast. We're happy Sheffield Wednesday has a replay. We are also happy to be here talking about the FA Cup and the transfer madness as by the time this is published, it will be transfer deadline day. But before we get into all that, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, get the notification bell on. We got plenty of more videos coming at you. Well, all right. We'll go ahead and get started with the big one from Friday. Arsenal, Man City, round one in the books. First blood goes to Manchester City. What you think, Lewis?
It's weird. I thought about it when I picked the game because I did pick. I picked Arsenal to win 2-1, and I think Arsenal played a really, really good game. I think it says something about the changes and the priorities that Arteta put there. I mean, they went for it at the end when they started putting their first team guys back into the game. Obviously, City, losing a player matters, but I think they were up for that game. But I mean, that game was also the beginning of the end when we get to transfer window of some of the City players there, or at least one, because of a lack of playing time. But I'm excited because it didn't really show anything. And the funny thing is, I think when we all picked those games, we were looking like for, not that we predicted it, but we were looking to maybe see a definitive something from one of the other teams. But the result of this game literally, in my mind, gives me nothing for the next one. Like, I think we don't get anything from it. Okay, they both played, but you felt like they didn't give you nothing to help you see what they would do for the actual league fixture. So that means that the next one will be even more exciting. I mean, I thought it was a pretty big build up to this one. And I think I mean, I guess depending on who you were, it might have disappointed. It might have gave you what you wanted. But I think the lead in for the league game is going to be even greater because of the results. And the window, I think the window is going to play a huge role in that too, since it seems Arsenal and City probably will maybe pull a player or two this window to cover some things. So that means you might see something special in London.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you got to take a look at the blog post I put on the For the Badge For the Badge pod blog at WordPress.com, but I did a whole like an in-depth match review where I was talking about kind of what we learned, kind of the game told us, and I think that especially since Cancelo is left or is leaving, or I don't know if that's a done deal, or I just don't know.
Pretty sure
I
it's
don't really
done deal.
believe anything until it's done. So I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if that's even done yet. But
It is.
Yeah, it's done.
He's at Bayern. It's a loan with the option to buy, but most people assume Bayern won't buy him. So he's for sure gone now. Like, he's not coming back to the team ever.
Yeah, the buy is 70 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you're right. I think there will be some action. I mean, we put in 4 bids or something for Caicedo. He's put in a bid for Arsenal on Instagram. I don't know if y'all heard about that, but I think as far as that goes, we definitely need, and we've been saying it all season. We need cover in the center defensive midfield. We made 6 changes to start this game, and I thought that we'd rotate. And I was very happy to see that even the rotated squad was able to maintain the same philosophy, the same style. It wasn't different. It was the same Arsenal team, even though there was no Zinchenko, who was probably biggest miss in the first half, other than Odegaard, of course. I think most of the players who came in, like Leandro Trossard, for example, instant fan favorite. He's definitely going to give Martinelli some competition, and you definitely want competition when you're going for trophies for places, and so that's definitely good. But I think it's clear to see that when Lokonga came on for Partey at halftime, and that was an injury, by the way. I learned.
Was it? Oh,
Yes, but I've seen a couple of things that said that he'll be back for Everton, and it wasn't serious.
but does he need to play that game? I feel like they probably should let
I feel like
him.
you're gonna smash Everton anyway, yeah, with or without him.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. We're so different without him in the game. Did you get to see the second half of this game or any of the Arsenal City game?
I did.
Do you remember
Yeah.
when Martin Odegaard turned around and yelled at Lakonga?
Yeah.
And like doing this at Lakonga. Do you remember that bit?
Yeah.
That was at the tail end of one of the worst 20 minutes of that kid's career. Because when he came on, his first touch was, I immediately was like, oh, here we go.
Well, that's probably the mental state he had after that touch as well.
Oh, it was awful. I mean, in the first half, it was fairly even. I thought Arsenal perhaps edged it. Eddie should have scored once at least, but I thought that as far as playing through the lines, Partey is very press resistant, so he was doing well. I thought defensively against the ball, he was doing the same thing that he always does, and De Bruyne didn't really have a lot going for him in the first half. But the reason that Odegaard yelled at Lakonga was because as soon as he came in, it was a free-for-all in the attacking third. The space for 20 minutes until Zinchenko came on, there was just bags of space in between our defense and our midfielders. And you can't give De Bruyne that space. You can't give City that space. And while our defense stood up strong, eventually they keep getting those pockets, nice shot gets off the crossbar. We don't
He's gonna
track
get punished.
and their center back their center back is scoring goals, guys. Come on. Like this is a silky smooth pass into the corner like he's been doing it for his whole career.
Well, Ake is not a joke, man. I mean, he's a talented young player. Like he showed a lot of promise at Chelsea, and it's just I was sad to see him go. He doesn't fit in the lineup. Probably would now, but
Oh yeah, he would now for sure.
didn't when he was there. It's one of those classic cases of had too much. Yeah, well, it's the same case. Yeah, had too many players in the role for the younger ones to step up and be useful at the club. So, but no, it was a striker's finish. Like he made it look easy.
Well, a real quick interjection. First of all, Nathan Ake is now a left back because City don't have no left backs, so he's a left back. I just need you to correct that. And a side note, can we have Zinchenko back? I'm just saying, I feel like we need to bring him back. He misses Manchester City, so I feel like he should
You
come
don't
back.
miss y'all. You don't miss y'all.
Yeah,
No, he's living life in London. What are you
No,
talking
he's
about?
loving life over at Arsenal.
you
He
saw
don't
it.
miss y'all.
He misses City.
He don't miss y'all.
I will say, I thought, y'all know what I said for prediction 3-1. I thought, honestly, this was more of a purist game. It wasn't as exciting as it could have been. I think what we saw was a lot of things played close to the vest, kind of filling each other out. I thought the Pep was going to be a little bit more aggressive, especially when he saw what Arteta was throwing out there, because I thought that was a chance for him to really kind of get some momentum. And I came away thinking, while City won, Arsenal's still probably better right now. And I really, that last 20 minutes or so, Arsenal should have scored at least one. And again, kind of going back to what I said about the World Cup, like City scored and then Arsenal just started attacking, and City couldn't get the ball down the field at all and try to score again. And it just drives me crazy because it's like usually you would see a Pep team go like, okay, let's go get 2, let's go get 3. And they kind of just sat back. And I don't know if that was because he wanted that and he wanted to invite that pressure onto the team or what. Ortega was pretty good. I thought he was actually pretty good in goal. But other than my man Rico Lewis, I was kind of disappointed, to be honest with you. That said, it was an FA Cup. It was what, the 4th round or 5th round, whatever it was. So can't take too much from it, but I did think that Arsenal kind of a little bit hard done by the result.
You know, the funny thing is, I remember hearing a saying. Somebody said it's better to be lucky than to be good, because you can't really control that. And so, you look at the season and you kind of let it be what it is. But I will say, today's rumblings, obviously the Cancelo thing, and there was a rumor that Bernardo Silva was possibly going to leave the team as well tomorrow. Kind of plays to the when we question why he kept tinkering. It's because there's something going on that is clearly playing itself out on the field. So you got to kind of figure out like why or what's going on in those guys' heads. So for example, I think I've said it a couple times. You guys have seen it. De Bruyne hasn't. When he's good, he's good. But this season, he's kind of been just jogging. Like he hasn't really been top tier. Clearly, you can see he's great, but I mean, he hasn't been playing that way. And I think after the window, I guess we'll see what City is, and it'll make it interesting because maybe we'll do Chelsea a solid and buy Fulham's left back, and then we could have a left back finally, maybe. I don't know.
I was shocked to see that y'all were linked with him because he doesn't seem to fit what Pep wants at all.
Well, it's funny because there's.
I mean, if y'all want to give us 54 million for Cucurella, I am sure we will ship him off to you real fast.
Especially with Chile coming back soon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, get him out of
Never hijack the deal. You never have that problem.
That's true. That's true.
You know what? No, fine. You know what? We got him for 54. We'll give him to you for 58. We just, we make a clean. We make a clean couple mil, just letting you hold out on him for a minute.
I'm actually surprised that Cancelo didn't go to Chelsea. I mean, why not? Right? There's a loan.
We don't have it in our. We don't have the weekly wages for that man right now.
But you have the
54 players on the roster.
Well, right, but you have to understand what got unlocked once Boyle got to the coffers. It was some $285 million of unspent winnings, and plus what the investor gets to put into the pot being a new buyer. So we do have about $800 million to spend on players.
Well,
Roman forgave the club.
We don't need to talk about loopholes.
Where are the wages coming from then?
Oh well, I mean
the wages are going down. That's the thing.
That's the point. That's why they're trying to offload people.
Offload Alba, offload Georgie, offload. Yeah, fire sale.
In January, or are we talking about the summer?
It was summer.
More than summer.
It's a mass exodus.
I would be surprised to see 8 to 10 players gone in the summer.
I think we're gonna lose 3 or 4 tomorrow, but we'll see.
2, maybe 3.
Ziyech is gone.
Wow.
Ziyech
I don't think Gallagher goes now.
I don't think Gallagher
RLC
does. RLC goes now.
I don't know about Jorginho.
I would love to see Alba.
We'll get to all the transfer stuff after we finish up on the FA Cup, because there's going to be a ridiculous amount of transfer stuff.
It's going to be fun
to get through. But
so can we talk about Wrexham?
Hold on. Let's
okay.
A couple more points. I think that a lot of people don't know what to think about this City Arsenal game, just because it feels so weird, even in a loss, that Arsenal fans are kind of more buoyant about it. But I've heard a lot of things that I think are wrong about this game. One, a lot of people are saying that Saka was anonymous. Saka didn't have a good game. He didn't really do much at all. And the one thing that I have not heard from anyone that was so glaringly obvious to me was the reason Saka didn't have a good game. Yes, Nathan Ake was good in the 1v1 battles, but Fabio Vieira was a ghost. Fabio Vieira,
my man had a chance to score one, and oh my gosh, what kind of technique was that?
Below Odegaard, he's so far below Odegaard. He was so worried about Mark and Rodri, about the press, about being in the right spots for our press against the ball, that he was always in the wrong position when the ball turned over. He was very negative when he got the ball. He was always looking backwards. X, you know this. I've been saying it all season. He's not good enough. Great. He comes in and gets 2 assists versus Oxford. Yeah.
Right.
Well done, buddy. It's Oxford. You get your
Right.
chance in, the first of 3 biggest games of the season, and you were almost as bad as Sammy Lukonga. Like, think about this. Think about this. When Zinchenko came on in that second half, that first 20 minutes of the second half, we were under it. We were absolutely, completely under it because there was so much space in behind our midfield, and you just can't give City that space. But when Zinchenko came on and filled in that space, Lukonga actually finished the game well.
Mhm.
After Zinchenko came on, he didn't have another glaring spatial error. Just the one where Odegaard had to scream at him. Just that one. Because it happened twice in like 15 seconds. De Bruyne got free in the midfield where Lukonga should be. And like if your man, I don't care if it's Mickey Mouse. It doesn't have to be Kevin De Bruyne. If it's your man and he gets free 2 times in 30 seconds, you should be screamed at. Like that's just how that goes. But as soon as Odegaard came on and Zinchenko were on, we had a lot more of the game. And you didn't really notice Lukonga not, knowing where he's supposed to be as much. But without anyone else to cover, Granit Xhaka didn't have his best game either. He was kind of in and out of the game. And so, those 20 minutes were rough, were really rough. And, I think we could have given a couple more in those moments, and it could have been really bad.
Well, I think what this proves though is your 3 most important players are in order: Odegaard, Partey, and Zinchenko. Because as you said, Xhaka didn't look like Xhaka with Lukongo. You take Partey out, there's miles of space. I mean, I love watching him work. I think that is one of those positions that when you see a great player, you just want to sit there and watch him play, and that's what he is, especially with the way Xhaka covers for him. But of course, Odegaard is Odegaard. But I think that one thing it also shows is some of that lack of depth for Arsenal right now. That is always a concern, especially as you get further into the season. I speak as a Chelsea fan because we've got like 22 players on the pitch right now, or at the physio station. But that lack of depth, that is a concern. But again, kind of going back to the game, I don't know what you take from this other than the 2 teams aren't that far apart, and Arsenal kind of showed at the end that they may be still a little bit better, even though they didn't put a goal in. They still might be just a little bit better right now once they get to that full 11 compared to City. But who knows?
I have a quick point. First of all, we're not going to disparage anybody who scores goals against minnows, because sometimes the greatest midfielder in the world gets to have that moment, and they got to bang in some goals too. So we got to make sure we never disparage when you rise and you are the cream, then you are at the top. If I had Macho Man glasses on, I would have them on and have a little cup of cream in my hand. But
I can't wait for us to talk about that goal, by the way.
But a real quick thing, this is giving credit to Arsenal. And I mean, even though obviously I'm a City supporter, I was listening to a City podcast, and they said something I thought was really telling. And I think this gives if you're an Arsenal fan, this should give you something to look forward to and go towards as building what they're building. They are at the beginnings of the foundations of formations of where they are because they're in the process of winning. And what happens is that when you are in the process, there's a greater hunger. Whereas these teams have won. For example, City looks disjointed. They look bored because you know what? They're disjointed and they're bored. And this is perfect for Arsenal because even in a disjointed, bored City team is still kind of on track of what they've been doing. And that caused this Arsenal team to rise to a level that they're playing outside of whatever they imagine would be where they are, which is a beautiful sign for them. So for Arsenal, whatever the result at the end of the season, it really is going to fuel them for at least the next 3-4 years, because that's what it did to Liverpool. And so, I mean, obviously Chelsea is trying to kind of work there, so it depends on like after the transfer market works out for Chelsea. But I think what you're seeing, and I mean, as a City fan, you don't really wish for that, but you really have to see how is City going to reload, because they were basically the only ones, because Liverpool was the only one next to them, because everybody else was kind of in the same pack. And I feel like Arsenal is really on the cusp of separating themselves, because they have young, good players with enough seasoned people in the right spaces that they could really go on a run if they're even if they don't win the league this year. But and it
They'll
looks
be
like
contending for the
it
next,
looks,
yeah.
right.
Oh
They will
yeah,
be
oh yeah.
there next 4 years, and I mean like be there in a sense where like Liverpool was insane for that 4 years,
4-year stretch, yeah.
and there will be no. I mean, City will be there, but there won't be a City at the level where City was. And I think this really looks good for Arsenal going forward. If we're looking sort of the macro version.
Well,
Well,
last point.
I was gonna make an example of that. If football, American football, it's like the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals, very young team. They got to the right close to the mountaintop last year. They had to come back, do it again this year. They lost on Sunday night, but you can see that window is there, and that's the same thing with this Arsenal team. You look at this team from top to bottom, and you're like, okay, maybe some depth pieces, maybe a couple pieces to strengthen them, but like Sasito or I don't think Georgie really strengthens them. I think what that does is maybe fix some of that depth. But you look at Declan Rice, huh?
That would be a 6-month loan anyway. That's all that would ever be.
No, it's a purchase.
Really?
It's not gonna be a loan. Yeah, it's gonna be a purchase. You look at Declan Rice, you look at Sasito, of course, Georgie. What it does is it gives that team a little bit more steel, gives some of those younger guys a little bit more of a veteran presence. Sort of like what Arteta did by bringing in Jesus and Zinchenko. You bring in a little bit more of a veteran presence, with Jorginho, Declan Rice. I don't know how Sasito's been around. I think he's pretty young still. But you start to build out. You're no longer building inside of the team. You're building outward, because you're trying to build for that run of games, Champions League, all the tournaments that the English teams are in. And I think that you see this Arsenal team have a 4 to 6 year window right now that is going to be exciting at Emirates, because the talent is still way, way young, and they're not even in their prime yet.
I gotta say, guys, I'm really glad to hear you guys talking up the Arsenal dynasty that's about to come rolling in.
I don't know about the dynasty, but we'll say Arsenal's no longer going to be fighting for 10th. We'll say that.
Hey, all these Arsenal fans out here. Some people are afraid to go ahead and put it out there. I'm putting it out there, man. We're here, and we ain't going nowhere. But to that point, I will say that City are still going to take some beating. That's another thing that this game for me, because I'm going to have to disagree with you a little bit about the end of the game, Patrick. From what I saw, I do agree that City sat back, but I also would say that they had more of the ball in the end. And just we chased and chased and chased. How come Odegaard came in the 74th minute, did nothing because he never saw the ball. The one time he saw the ball was the one good play that Saka had. To my point, Odegaard comes in, combines with Saka on the right, and is able to beat Ake, able to get in past Lewis, who's inverting in front of him, and we had a chance towards the back post. In the first half, because Kieran Tierney was supporting Leandro Trossard, we were able to get down the left and have some control on the left. Nobody was doing that for Saka because Fabio Vieira couldn't find his shoelace. So we were. He seemed like he was anonymous, But
Yeah.
if City get a lead in any of these games,
It's hard to peel one back.
well, it's hard to get the ball off of them because
Right,
they're
yeah.
just when they and you saw it in this game. I thought is when they had that lead, they just went into we'll give Arsenal might get 2 more chances because we're going to keep the ball for 30 minutes, and they can do that. And Arsenal have arguably the best press in the league right now, and that's been one of our keys to our success this season. And City were just like, yeah, whatever, we'll just keep the ball, no problem. Even with the
Seriously,
back,
how did
even
Vieira
with the
miss
backup
that
goalkeeper.
chance that badly?
Huh?
How did Vieira miss that chance that badly?
Because he's not. He shouldn't be in the team.
Like he shouldn't even. He should have taken that down and then taken a shot.
Yeah, Smith
Like
throws
trying to hit that volley. I mean, there's no one around him.
He had ages. He had absolute ages. But he's young and he panics. I think he needs another loan. To be honest with you, Smith Rowe, man. If he ever gets
healthy.
over this injury, he wasn't.
Oh,
I was like so mad that he didn't play, but he wasn't even in the team. I found out he wasn't even on the bench.
He's still
Wow.
not yet.
Again.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on.
It's sad.
But yeah, all in all, I don't think it's that. Doesn't really feel that bad. Doesn't really feel like a horrible loss, and I think we're still looking forward to them coming to the Emirates, and I think it's going to be a fantastic game. But moving on, we did have a few other games in the FA Cup. Wrexham 3-3 with Sheffield
Oh.
United.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking. I love all the Ryan Reynolds memes.
Yeah, have you all seen? My man was in it.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was going
Yeah,
through
dude,
it.
He owns the
Did you see
club.
the one from his wife, Blake Lively, where she's like, I bought ESPN Plus today just to watch my husband go through anxiety and live
Yep.
TV.
Worth it. Yeah.
Oh man, when I'm telling you, when they scored that third goal, that place went berserk.
Nuts.
And you're like, oh, they're gonna pull it off because Sheffield United was down to 10 players.
Yep. Guy got 2 yellows. Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, they got it. And then you're just watching the clock, and Sheffield United, they had a really good chance prior to the goal. And you're like, man, they're gonna get one. They're gonna get one. And then they got a corner off of a silly defensive play. Like it should have never gone out for a corner, but it did. And there you go. Tied. Going back to Sheffield United or Lancashire or something. I think they said South Lincolnshire or whatever. But
That's not good.
I don't see them winning that one now. It's
Good.
That's a gut punch.
Not to mention, were they to win, it's Tottenham.
Oh, anybody can beat Tottenham. What are
That's
you
a
talking about?
winning game. Yeah.
Well, they don't win trophies, so they're bound to
It
win.
would be at home. If Wrexham won, they would be at home versus Tottenham.
Tottenham can't win trophies, so they're bound to lose one here in this run. Might as well be them.
I'm praying for it. I'm praying
For it.
I want to see it so bad. I want to see Deadpool beat the Spurs.
If that were to happen, I would buy a Wrexham shirt. For sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, I would buy a Wrexham shirt because that would be just amazing.
What is
They're
their
the Dragons, man.
They're the Red Dragons, man. Yeah.
Say what?
I'm trying to see what it is. It was so small.
It's a red dragon. There's 2 dragons on their thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not
So,
tripping, but I mean, I guess.
Speaking of, now that Arsenal's out, I guess I'll pick a team to cheer for in the FA Cup. Stoke City, baby. We're through. Stoke City's through to the next round. We beat Stevenage 3-1 with some truly shocking defense. I was watching some of these highlights before the pod.
Was it a rainy night at Stoke? That is the first question that must be answered.
It was rainy, and it was
one went there when
it was Stevenage. It was some shambolic defending.
You can't handle it. You just can't handle it.
Stoke City, baby, all the way.
Southampton for me.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They beat Blackpool, man.
I know, man.
2-1. There you
It-
go.
Old Blackpool.
Is this the end of Jurgen Klopp, though?
Ooh, yes, we must talk about that. That's now two.
No.
Is
Klopp
that
is
2 or
seeing-
3 in a row to
No.
Brighton?
They're
Klopp
not
is
getting.
seeing Matoma and Brighton in his nightmares right
Yeah.
now. Because the first Roberto De Zerbi's very first game in charge was a barnstormer of a 3-3 at Anfield.
That's
And
right.
if you remember watching that game, it wasn't like the scoreline was even, the game was not even. It was like minute 12 and it was 2-0 Brighton.
Mm.
It should have been 4-0 Brighton in the first like 20 minutes of that game. And Liverpool found something that day. But a week ago, they got blanked at the Amex. And Matoma.
They at least scored this time, so that's an improvement.
They didn't. I watched the whole game. I actually watched this one whole.
Oh, really?
Brighton and Liverpool, yeah. Liverpool improved.
Well,
They were better.
improved.
I've seen.
That's good for them.
They weren't-
Brendan Rodgers lives for another day.
Yo,
He is Teflon.
how does Brendan Rodgers have a job? I watched the highlights of this game too. The score line is flattering to Leicester, and it's 1-0.
That's not.
Yuri Tielemans missed a penalty in this game.
Ooh.
They-
Ooh.
This was a horrific performance. They were not good. They were taking shots from 30. Half the highlights were 30-yard whiffs from outside the box. I just don't understand.
When you ship the season, that's what you do.
That's what you do, man. You just start raining.
It's like that meme where everything's on fire, but the dude is just sitting there like eating chips or something.
Yeah, hey, man.
Doesn't care at all. I mean, ugh.
Because everything is fine. What do you mean?
He ain't
Everything.
worried about. You're right.
Everything is fine.
James
Everything is
Maddison,
fine.
the greatest English midfielder that didn't play in the World Cup, manages to get a great card. So that's about all I saw from the highlights. Man, I don't know if y'all, Patrick and Lewis, happen to have gone back and watched any of the old pods, but Xavier will tell you, I love James Madison.
Oh yeah, James Madison.
I'm sure you
is
do.
He's
my Potter, and Lewis is Casemiro.
He is so overrated. He's so incredibly overrated. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Leicester are terrible, man. And
Shambles.
if there weren't some other dumpster fires going around in the league, I would still have them get relegated.
Relegated. Yeah.
But there are some bad teams in this league.
Yeah.
But none that are on the ascendancy like the Red Devils of Manchester.
Smashing Reading.
I mean, Casemiro with the greatest goal of all time from a center
Two of the
defensive
greatest
mid.
goals of all
2 of them. I'm sorry. I saw the one, and I was like, well, we're gonna have to talk about that one.
I mean, let's
My-
give credit. Let's give credit where credit's due. Anthony finally found a pass from somewhere. It was a decent ball into Casemiro.
And
Did
only
y'all see the
would know how-
gif?
only Casemiro. No other player on earth, not even a forward, would know how to finish the way he did.
Marcus Rashford couldn't have done that.
Nope.
No.
And the second goal,
Did y'all speaking of
Marcus
speaking of
Rashford's
Anthony,
goal was the only nice one. I'm done.
oh no
I'm
sir,
done.
the Casemiro goal where he
from
set up
outside the box?
the center half to actually touch the ball to put it off the keeper to go in. That was the
Oh,
greatest.
he planned on that one. Yeah.
You dead-eyed,
Yeah, he dead-eyed that one. Yeah,
You
come
are
on.
the greatest.
You're worse than a United fan right now. I swear. Like, oh my god.
Well, he can't be any worse than you. You had double the clips that he had, my friend.
Oh no, I hate Graham Potter. My man's just annoyed with Casemiro. Mine is a fueled
No,
have-
it's not Casemiro. Casemiro has been halfway decent. Let's
He
get
has
this
been.
straight. He's been decent.
Yes,
He's been he's definitely improved United, and his defensive play has been strong. But from the get-go, and again, you can go back and look in those old pods from the beginning, X, you'll remember this. His first 3, 4, 5 games were really sloppy. He was really
He looked
bad in
old.
the beginning. And he's kind of grown into it, and he's on good form, and he's playing good defense. And now, once again, as United love to do, they love to fool the media. It's another one of those things where, like the last 3 games, Casemiro's been really sloppy with the ball, but nobody talks about it. And then he goes and, oh, it's the greatest goal. He chipped the keeper who was already laying on the ground, and then he's got a deflected goal. He's the greatest.
Well,
It's
first
great.
of all, there's no tricking of anything because this is what it is. When you will put on a United shirt, you put on 10 pyramids from Brazil on your shoulders while you run up and down the field with ankle weights on that are 1,000 pounds. So he barely can lift his feet. The pressure of being the greatest Manchester United player ever on the face of the earth.
Well,
So
that's what it
why
looks like when Harry Maguire runs around. That's
Yeah,
for
this is true. This is true. Do you know? I saw this on Twitter. There's questions if Casemiro has been the best transfer
ever
this year.
on earth
This year, so far, in the league.
has been.
I'm out.
He's out. He's like, I'm done. I'm gonna go with Yachty. Aubameyang has been the best transfer.
Heck yeah, he
No, I
has.
definitely am. I
He's
can't
out.
do that. I cannot.
I'm definitely not entertaining this one. No,
But no,
gotta be Jesus or Zinchenko.
Zinchenko
would get
easily.
would get
The
my
great
for the badge. For the
transfer.
badge, it'd be Zinchenko.
No, the greatest one is Cucurella and Paco. That is the greatest transfer ever. The
Who's the other one?
it was like a number 2 on the board.
Who's the
Who-
second
who's
one?
who's the second one?
He's saying the Potter Cucurella combo.
Oh yeah, bring it. Yeah.
No. I
Good grief.
want you to know how much heartburn I have because of y'all. Just in general. It irks me in my sleep. Like I stay up at night hearing these sound bits in my head, and I'm like, that man just said that, and then I wake up and I'm pissed and I'm just angry for no reason. But yes, I think for the badge, like if I'm giving a for the badge, it'd be Zinchenko for sure. He's just brought a lot of passion to that squad that you don't see coming out of transfers. You don't see that coming from.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
been some good ones for sure.
But
Nah, you
seriously,
know what?
every
No,
time Casemiro
it's-
scores a goal, it's like it's either oh my god, he's the greatest center defensive man in the world, or oh my god, he's the greatest transfer that's happened this season, and it's like y'all chill out, seriously, calm down.
Nah, Ronaldo to.
Ronaldo
That's the best one. That's
Yeah.
the best.
Did
I'll
you
never
see?
forget.
Y'all see that he got a yellow and then got called out by the coach for playing bad when they got knocked out of the cup.
Oh,
And then
drama
without
just
him,
follows my man.
they won 5-1. They
Oh
lost
my
3-1 with him, and it won 5-1 without him.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
God, no, that's the best one.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
And then Jorge Mendes came out, I think, last Friday or so, and said that that Ronaldo will be going back to Europe this summer. And it's like, really?
To
Really?
where?
I
gonna
guess
play for
maybe
Nantes,
Porto,
the French
or not
Sporting.
Porto, but
Send him back to
Sporting.
Sporting. Just let him retire at Sporting. End it. Just end it. Just it's where he should have went instead of United.
Time.
But anyway.
Yeah, it's time.
But no, I thought Man United commanded the game. I mean, obviously they had Reading on the heels.
It's
The
Reading.
goals were. I thought Rashford's goal was pretty. I mean, it takes a lot of body control to put the head on the ball
He's
like
on
that,
form.
direct it back towards goal.
Right.
He's on form,
Nobody's
right?
talking.
Rashford's scoring goals.
We called that one.
Is Andy Carroll is
Ooh.
97 years old. How is he?
Does he still have the ponytail? Does he still have the ponytail?
He's got a beard bigger than I do. with this ponytail going on. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean, how is this like? I didn't know he was. I figured he'd be doing a podcast by now. Like what? And it truly was a Jao Felix tackle. Just
Strikers challenge.
just a straight up Jao Felix tackle, man. It
Yes.
was bad news bears.
Andy
Just
Carroll's
late
trying
high.
to be the English version of Zlatan without the talent and the awesomeness.
The trophy.
I don't
Well,
know.
I guess Carroll's got some
I feel like
trophies.
Zlatan is the English version of Zlatan.
I think there's just
Yeah, Zlatan is whatever Zlatan wants to be.
I don't want to have Zlatan come on our podcast and like
Oh,
threaten all of
Oh,
us. No,
I
there's just
do. That would be
one-
awesome.
No, there's just one Zlatan. It's just he's everybody's Zlatan. No.
Did y'all hear about when Chelsea said they were gonna buy Zlatan? Zlatan says Chelsea isn't big enough to buy me. I would buy them.
I would buy Chelsea. I was like,
Oh, I love Zlatan.
what the
I used to
My
hate
favorite-
Zlatan, but as soon as he went to Italy, I was like, yeah, I love Zlatan again.
My favorite Zlatan moment is when he got to Los Angeles. LeBron James sent him a jersey to welcome him to Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
Yeah.
And Zlatan signed it and sent it back to him.
Yeah. I don't need your jersey.
Epic.
Epic. I
Oh,
love
the
it.
man's great.
I love it.
Dude, I remember him when he first came on the scene in that Joga Bonito video, juggling chewing gum. You don't remember that?
No,
Yeah.
the old one that I
Way
remember. I remember way
way-
back in the day when they would do the Nike commercials and everything. It was Messi with a bottle cap. I was
Oh yeah.
blown. I was like,
This one was before Messi was doing that. This one was back when like Ronaldinho was on the Joga Bonito videos. This is way back in the day when he was
Yeah.
super young.
Well, a
Oh,
funny
wow.
thing about Zlatan is that even though he has the persona, if you hear some of the like personal stories, he's like one of the nicest dudes.
Is he really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's
just don't
like,
mess
So
with
he's
him.
just a troll. He's just a
Yeah.
straight.
Oh yeah,
He's a great troll too,
Oh, he's
because he can back it up. That's the
he's
thing.
just a
like,
better Diego Costa at this point. Yeah.
Oh god. He's,
yeah.
he's miles above Diego Costa. Come on, get out of
well,
here.
Zlatan owns the fact that he doesn't have the birth certificate that says I am 12 in crayon. So that part is different.
Definitely.
That is awesome. Yeah. Luton Town sure could have used somebody with something like that going on versus Grimsby. I know y'all watched that one.
Oh man, I missed
banger
that
of a
one.
banger of a game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And ended 2-2 that one.
How did Burnley not score against Ipswich Town?
First of all, don't you ever talk about Ipswich Town, one of the great clubs ever. It's a wonderful city, and it's right next to the pub, and that's why they did so well. Ipswich Town, yes.
You're not a Burnley fan?
Not
Ipswich Town, man. Ipswich Town.
See, I thought you would be a Burnley fan because of company.
No, Ipswich Town.
You don't want your boy in the Prem?
No one cares, Ipswich Town.
It's just now he's just on it. Now he's on it. That's his team. That's the only thing he's gonna say for the rest of the podcast. Ipswich Town.
I have some wonderful memories in Ipswich Town. So
Ipswich Town. Yeah.
Town.
Homegrown. Yeah, it's just in there.
Yeah.
No, I did watch the extended highlights for the West Ham because I was actually shocked they won a game. I was like, hey,
Jared, man, if they don't have Jared Bowen, if West Ham didn't have Jared Bowen, dude.
bro. Both goals are good.
He's been there, Ruben Neves at Wolves this whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, Leeds United get a victory.
Oh,
Henley.
we need to talk about Leeds America. I mean, Leeds United.
Yeah, old Weston.
We got 3 now over there plus the
Will
manager.
he even play at Leeds though? Like, will he even? I don't even think.
Of course he will. I think he will. Why wouldn't he?
Man, those performances at the World Cup, bro. I totally was not. I'm not into it. He just doesn't work enough. He definitely didn't work enough for the US. And that team works. Jesse's Leeds.
Yeah, exactly.
Work.
That press. I mean, it's not Arsenal press,
got.
but it's a strong press.
That's like all they've got. So maybe Jesse will be able to get his butt moving, but we can
Listen, I wouldn't press for Greg Berhalter, but that's just me. I'd do it for the badge, but never for Greg Berhalter.
I mean, it's a World Cup, man. It's I get it. I get what you're saying. I don't think, as you call him, Triple G, did himself
Triple G.
in the tournament and did the players any favors either. But I think I would, like I said, I would really love to see him do well. I like Leeds United States of America, obviously. I like Brendan Aronson, Tyler Adams. So yeah, I would love to see them do well. But I've never rated McKinney. I'm not sure how he moved to Juventus. Juventus is what a shambles.
Dumpster
Yeah, and
fire.
then they
I
lost
thought
10
Chelsea
points
dumpster
or
fire.
15 points. They lost 15 points, right?
Mid-table. Yeah.
Yeah, 15. They're down back 15.
Mid-table.
But let's see. And then who can forget? Who can forget? Heung-Min Son finding his scoring boots.
Sonny.
Yeah.
Just scoring goals in the cup because he's
Just-
so good.
He's so good.
Now, those are a couple of good goals though.
Yeah.
But this was another weird game. Away to Preston, they're just ripping shots from outside the box because that's like all they can create.
Testing the keeper, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I was really, really cheering for Preston on this one, and I'm really going to be cheering for Wrexham in the next round, or Sheffield, whoever gets through.
Sheffield.
You know.
And then Wednesday. I don't know why. Fleetwood, you get a draw? Like, come on, Owls.
Yeah, let's see. So Southampton will be playing the winner of the Luton Grimsby replay.
Okay.
Leicester will be playing the winner of the Blackburn Birmingham replay. Ooh. Stoke City versus Brighton on a rainy night in Stokes.
Let's go.
That's gonna be
Stoke.
Old as Derby.
Let's go Stoke.
Whoa. You're not cheering the goals, man?
I hate Brighton. They gave us Potter.
Oh Lord, here we go.
They're the new selling club of the league. Like,
Yeah,
I don't care what they are. They gave us Potter.
oh my goodness. Yep, Wrexham Sheffield winner will play Tottenham. We saw that one. Fulham Sunderland. That's one we didn't talk about. I actually watched the Sunderland game as well.
And Sunderland went up 1-0 in that one.
Yeah, dude. But the goal
couldn't hold on.
The goal that Tom Kearney scored was like some real poise in the box. He's a club captain at Fulham, looking like Mitro in the box. He's dribbled a couple dudes, just droop, droop, and then just nailed it in. I was like, all right,
let's go.
I mean, you expect Mitrovic to do something like that, but when they got other guys, I think Fulham are doing great this season, man. And
yeah, they are.
I think that it's going to be a tough game because I remember Arsenal going to the Stadium of Light plenty of times, and it can be rough. So, big
going up to the Northeast is hard all the time.
So getting the replay in to be able to go home and play at home, that's big for some. And I can't say that I miss Sunderland in the Premier League. I kind of hate that.
Ipswich Town get with the win.
They have to play the winner of Wednesday and Fleetwood.
Yep.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yep. Fulham Sunderland winner play Leeds, so that's a big one. And then Manchester City will they'll finally face their demise at Bristol. So
yeah. The United West Ham game in the next round.
Yep.
That's a fun one.
We'll be interested.
That'll be a fun one.
It's at Old Trafford.
Yes.
West Ham, no shot.
West Ham has no shot.
They're already getting a red card when they walk out of the tunnel because it's
just because. VAR review, hey, your shoes weren't tied. That's an automatic boot.
Are we attempting to say that there's impropriety going on?
No, that's not what we're saying at all.
Never.
My man was not offsides. Come on, he doesn't interfere with play. Come on. No, but yet when Arsenal does it, hey, it's an issue.
I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. I have come to see the light, and United, nothing wrong with anything they do. Nothing.
He's seen the light.
Next thing you know, he's going to be wearing a United shirt on this pod.
I will slap him.
Now, I can joke, but you won't catch me in that. That's
okay. Just making sure.
I can't do that one. I can't go that far.
Jokes are fun, but we don't want to see Lewis burst into flames on the
I
pod.
don't
Right?
either. We like
No, I
Lewis.
don't need my man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do a bet with something like that.
Oh
I
no,
wouldn't
no,
do a
no,
bet
no, no.
like that.
No.
Well, that was the original
That
punishment.
was the original
To lose
punishment.
the predictions league.
Yeah.
I
But we,
But, like,
we
I
wouldn't. You would have to wear an Arsenal jersey, not a United
Right,
jersey.
not a United jersey.
okay with that. That's
It's
not.
whoever win the prediction league, their team. I was gonna make Jake wear a Chelsea. He was gonna make me wear an Arsenal. For a whole
So
pod.
the goal. So that means that we will never have a Tottenham fan on here, right?
No.
Oh, that won't be the bet with the
At least
Tottenham
not in the
fan.
predictions
I
league.
have
Not
a
in the
friend
predictions league.
who's a fan, and that might make it, interesting to see what he says because, like, you won't catch me in the Liverpool kit. You won't catch me in the United kit. You won't. Those
See,
two, no.
The thing is, we couldn't bring a Tottenham fan on here because I would just feel so bad for them. We would just
They would
hate
You
on
just
them.
get ragged on.
It's
It wouldn't
low
be a
hanging
fun-
fruit. That's what it
would
is.
not be
It's
a
low
fun.
hanging fruit.
It would not be a fun podcast for them. No.
So that would be a great. That's a great. Segues are weird. We can move into the, some of the transfer stuff. I was thinking we'd just like go club by club and take a look at some of the things we've seen. Tottenham, man, are in shambles, and
They got that one across though.
did they get that one though? 'Cause
Yes, they did get it across this afternoon.
did you hear what happened though? Why it was so crazy? The Pablo Paro or something like that. I think is his
Pedro
name.
Paro or something
Pedro,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
They who is the team who is it? Sporting something.
Sporting, yeah.
They wanted $2.5 extra million to pay for some fees or whatever, and Tottenham didn't want to do it.
The
It
GoFundMe
held out for like
was
7
started by
hours.
the fan base.
No.
For like
No.
7 hours. It was delayed because
Daniel Levy for you.
The $3 million.
Daniel Levy for
Daniel
you.
Levy. I love him.
God, I hope he never sells that club.
I hope he stays there forever.
But yeah, I think last I saw they got that one across this afternoon.
The
He
thing
must
is,
make
though,
a ton of money, man, off that team because I don't see how. He must make a ton of money off of it.
Well, he's also got that NFL deal.
There's your money.
that's it. That's it. The stadium. It's the
There's the
stadium.
money.
Yeah.
And I've heard they're doing all kinds of concerts and all
Yeah,
kinds
they
of,
are.
well,
I mean,
Well, they got to win somewhere.
yeah.
won't
Yeah.
be on the pitch, that's for
That's
sure.
the thing. Who's gonna want to come to Tottenham? Who's gonna want? How do you even attract someone? Because especially in this window, because the future looks really bleak.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. They're in free fall, if you ask me. They're not gonna make Champions League.
No.
Nope.
Conte's leaving.
Yep.
I won't be surprised to see Kane leave in the summer.
Oh, it's gonna be United, isn't it? It's gonna be United.
Like what?
No.
What?
I mean,
What?
I don't think he can go to a rival club. I think he ships outside of England.
Yeah, Levy's not gonna
He's
let.
not gonna let him go to United.
Well, where's he
Levy's
gonna
not
go?
pull a Wenger and send
He'll
Robin
go
Van
to
Persie
Spain. He'll go to Spain or France. Germany's there's not a big enough club to sign Kane in Germany, unless Borussia does it. But Borussia's
about
not good at
Bayern?
bringing players.
Bayern
Borussia's not so much good at buying players. They love selling players.
No,
They don't
yeah.
like buying
Bayern
big
wants
names.
him. If Bayern
Byron
wants,
wants him. He
they'll
would go
come
there. Yeah.
I mean, what is Bayern doing? Collecting all the old greats and just making a shelf of these guys now have a jersey over here. Like they just buy these guys so late in their career.
He's still got
hate
like
on
3 or 4 years.
Kane's in his prime. You can hate Tottenham all you want, and I do as much as the
I
next
hate
guy.
Harry Kane. It's just
So do I, but he's in his prime. He's this is the biggest the next contract will be the biggest one of his career. He needs to
He's got to
and
capitalize.
if he wants to commit to Spurs, maybe that's the only thing that'll attract anyone else to go there. But I just don't.
I mean, when you got a coach that has come out or a manager that's come out and said that there's no way to win here, pretty much. I mean, how do you reconcile that with your transfers at that point? Like, who wants to jump on board with that?
Well, the funny thing about Spurs is that guys don't really leave there, though.
right.
So, I mean, there's the stability of that. I want to go somewhere where, guys will be there. I mean,
But
that's
other than Kane, who do you want from there?
Sonny is good. I would
Yeah,
take
Sonny.
Get Sonny out.
Was
I would
good.
even get what is it? Parachute. It's
Perisic.
I would get
Perisic is
Perisic
like
out.
34, dude.
Yeah, he
him
just signed this year.
He's played in 14 World Cups. Like he's
I'd get him
old.
out. I'd get him out. He don't deserve to be at Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem. Are we hopefully staring into Tottenham just dropping completely back to pre-Daniel Levy?
I would
Back
love
to
it.
back to when they were relegation battlers? I would love that.
Mm,
Great. That
That'd
would
be
be
great.
that'd
Yeah.
be fun.
I miss the days before Roman and before Sheik whatever bought City and
Sheik Mansour.
Cheap.
Mansour, yeah. I miss those days, you know, when it was
Well-
just Wenger and Fergie.
Oh yeah, just duking it out.
My goodness. So Arsenal have put in how many bids for Caicedo now? Here's
4?
one thing I did want to bring up. This culture of forcing a move is like it kind of gets under my skin a bit, you know? Like Leandro Trossard was frozen out. I don't know what the deal was. I don't know, but then he's not going to practice and then or he's not allowed to come to practice and then he gets a move. And then instead of handing in an actual transfer request, which would mean that Caicedo can't get his bonuses for the next week or whatever, he goes and his agents, I've heard that he's got a new agent, it's like a week old, this relationship. And his new agent has told him to come out and put this on Instagram where he's talking about how he's got 10 brothers and sisters he's got to feed back home in Ecuador. And, he's like, come on, man, that felt really bad. Like, if I'm the owner, if I'm the director of football at Brighton and I'm seeing this, I'm like, yo, you're a 3-year-old child.
Yep.
Well, he is 21, so I mean, you're
You're
not
a
too far
petulant
off.
little child. And you're staying right here. You're not going anywhere. That would be my immediate reaction.
I hear you, but the thing about it is that if we're looking at it from a business standpoint, if you're disrupting my locker room and your antics are going to cause disruption in the team, which will then affect my bottom line, because it doesn't matter how good you are, because if you're that good, but your attitude is affecting the performance on the field, while as a commodity you don't want to let it go, you also understand if you allow that to sort of ferment, what it does is it causes you to lose value in the player, and then at that point you're forced to kind of let it be what it is. I mean, especially if you're a team that needs the money. Like for example, City, apparently Cancelo it has been an issue in the team, which I mean there was some rumblings about that, and
I heard he
City,
had a bust up with Pep.
yeah, which is
Like
insane.
squared up and got in Pep's face.
And said that if you don't play me, I'm going to leave. Now, imagine someone saying that to Pep Guardiola. Imagine someone walking up to. I was going to use Potter, but I can't even make a joke about that. But imagine someone
He'd
walking.
be like, "Here's some ice cream, buddy. Or do you feel okay? Do you need to take a day off?"
Yeah, I know I opened a can of worms on that one, but like going to a good manager and say,
Imagine going to Mao and saying that yeah, right.
like somebody walking up to Arteta and saying, "Hey man, if you don't play me, I'm leaving." They're gonna get freaking sold. I don't care who you are.
Antonio Conte would freak out.
Who was it? And oh, I should know. Who was it at City before Pep that had Mario Balotelli?
Pellegrini.
Yeah, that's like when. Yeah, that'd be like if Pellegrini
Mario.
would rip you. He'd rip you out of the game so fast if you tried anything stupid.
Well, he did that.
Oh
In
my
the
god!
preseason game, Balotelli did a backward shot, and he
Yeah,
Mancini
just ripped
rolled
him
him out
out
the game.
immediately.
Like
Ripped
right
him out.
after that.
Yeah,
Oh, it was
ripped him out.
Mancini. Yeah.
Mancini. Yeah, there it is.
But I mean, that's where I agree with you, Jake, that the sort of brat mentality is an issue. But I'm looking at it, and so you sort of live with the polls at this point, because that's what people are kind of forcing the hand of. If you do, if you're a team guy, then we're going to reward you financially. And if you're not, then we need to get rid of you because you're garbage. I mean, I'm gonna put it like this. You all know football. City letting Cancelo go, in a vacuum, people will say that's stupid
Right.
based on where they are and based on what's going on. But if you're the manager and you're looking at the big picture and you already seen where the form has dipped up and down because of attitude in the team, you can't have that guy in the team. You really can't. I don't care how good he is. He has to go because
it's a cancer.
It doesn't matter. He could be Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola is not going to be the one playing the game. And if you have somebody with a shite attitude on the field and affecting how they play, then you lose the team where now people are not hearing you because they're like, well, the manager is letting this guy act like a donkey. So if that's the case, you got to get rid of him and let the guys know that I don't care who you are, is an exception to it. And the funny thing is, Cancelo has been at fault for at least 3 games where City lost, where he openly said it was his fault. So for him to say openly that the team losing games or dropping points is his fault, to then come to the manager after seeing the team kind of trying to find form, saying, if you don't play me, I'm going to leave, you can kick every rock you can find.
I just think that I definitely hear you in that you don't want that kind of cancer in your team in the locker room. It definitely disrupts things. But on the other hand, it's fostering this culture where you can pitch a fit and get what you want.
Yep.
These are contracts that these dudes have signed. And I don't care if you're 21 or if you're 37, when do we start holding these players to their contractual obligations? I know that it's a business.
When
At the end
other
of the day.
clubs stop being able to buy them out when they're doing it.
Yeah, I understand that it's a business and there are these
Yep.
release clauses, and if you pay this, he'll be able to, do that, and
Who bought themselves out? There's been players who've
you buy
paid.
yourself out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's been players who paid their own release clauses.
Fernandinho did that. I'm not mad. He did it to come to City.
I mean, it spills even into this whole everything about the transfer market and the transfer window is just slimy.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Now,
yeah, most definitely.
the loophole, the whole loophole thing with Chelsea, my personal opinion about it is good on you. No one else noticed it, and no one else was able to, to figure this out. And at the end of the day, all FIFA can do is just close the
Change it.
loophole.
Yep.
Then yeah, good on you. You should 100%. But that is the landscape
Right.
in the transfer market. It's as cutthroat, just it's the whole thing with Bully hijacking trades. Okay. Yeah.
Barca did it to us right when he signed up. Barca was like, "Oh no, we're about to raid everything
That's
you had lined up."
That's the nature of the game. If they can get in there and get a deal done before you did, that's your problem.
100%.
Sorry.
Well, I was listening
Sorry, not
to
sorry.
I was listening to a Twitter space this afternoon with one of the journalists. I think it was Ben Johnson, and he was talking about the Mudryk transfer, and he said it's the wildest thing he's seen in the last 20 years when it comes to transfers. Like, never seen anything like that.
Yep.
Because, like, the joke with Willian is that Tottenham paid for his flight, just and his medical, and then Chelsea bought him straight up or whatever it might be. Which I got a feeling that Roman pulled some strings there for sure. But that said, I mean, it's wild, and I think that what you see, especially in the transfer window, and this window's a lot different, than usual January windows, because there's some big names actually moving. Usually this time around, you just kind of got these guys that are going to, teams that are trying to avoid relegation and whatnot. But there's some big names moving. I mean, even the Trossard transfer was pretty big in my eyes, because that dude, he was awesome for Brighton,
Absolutely.
and
I'm happy with that.
I'm actually glad Gordon got out of.
Very happy with that.
I'm actually
yeah,
glad
and then
got
Gordon
out.
went to Newcastle.
Man, the Gordon is he's overhyped.
Well, yeah,
I
but
think
And
I
he's
think he'll thrive
international.
at Newcastle. I really do. I think he'll thrive in that system.
he
I
will
really do.
work.
I think he'll work.
He won't get in.
You
He'll
don't
play.
think so?
Who does he take out of that team? I'll wait.
In the 60th minute, any of them.
In the 60th.
Hey, they got some cup games left. What you talking about?
Yeah, they do have cup games left.
Yeah, but cup games they want to win.
True. Yeah, they're going for trophies. Yeah.
But speaking on transfers, I was really I applaud Pep for finding the cancer and cutting it out, because that really does show he thinks that Cancelo was really affecting the team, and he knows, hey, in 2 weeks we got to be on it because it's time for Champions League again, and he doesn't need that distraction within the team, so he's cutting it out. You know, he's going to make it work one way or the other, but I applaud him for it, because there's a lot of managers that are like, talent's too good, we got to keep him.
Let the drop, like, this should actually like let you be a little bit hopeful though. If I'm sitting on the other side of a title race and I can see a chink in the armor, and there's at least some, even if it's gone, there's some sort of drama going on, there's some issue in the back room, there's some players contention versus Pep. It doesn't just stop with, it's not he's the only one doing that. He has buddies there, they're gonna talk, misery breeds company, that kind of thing. So it's, who's gonna get affected personally, or think that they've been shivved by him walking out, or who's going to miss him the most. Like any little chink in that, that's when you smell blood, and that's when Arsenal again has to show the championship squad mentality and find a way to win those league games.
Well, a funny thing about that is Man City in the last couple of January windows have signed some pretty solid guys. They signed Alvarez last January, and they signed Laporte 2 Januaries ago. So, and these were, and they signed Laporte in the year that Liverpool had that insane run, and they had to come from behind to beat them. And so, this is where, and you know how I feel about the whole GOAT idea, anyways. But this is where Guardiola really has earned his stripes as being a top tier manager, because even with money, people fail to realize high priced players are hard to manage.
They come with a drama. Yeah. That's Mal's biggest issue. That's Frank's biggest issue. That's Gerard's biggest issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so So with Pep figuring it out, they've literally had to come back at least 2 times against very good Liverpool teams. Because the thing about it is, I've always been an honest fan where yes, I support my club, but I'm not blind to see what's going on. You give a team credit for being good, and like Arsenal's good. The Liverpool teams of the last 4 years have been good, and so but you have to think, what City didn't run away with any of them except one. And so they had to work every one of them while being in contention on all 3 fronts, even though going out in other places.
Last gasp. It was last gasp double from Gundogan last year on the last day.
Right. And so this is where I agree with X, where there's a thing about it is City has shown that that they actually, even though people will disagree with it because of the money, those guys really do play for the badge, because I'll be damned if you don't see them rise up and say, hey, we want to win this thing. And he pulls guys from wherever. Like Phil Foden will be the starting left back for the rest of the season, so he can actually get run, and he'll be the new Zinchenko. And then we'll be like, that's okay, Zinni, we miss you, but Phil Foden is now the new left back maestro because he can play anywhere. We'll be fine.
So the next lineup is gonna have Foden, Grealish, De Bruyne. It's gonna have Haaland and Alvarez.
Haaland and Alvarez. He's just gonna play. He's gonna play like Liverpool is next season, where it's just 11 attackers on the field, or it's just even the goalie. He's we're gonna see Robbie Firmino in goal with the gloves on,
playing goalkeeper.
Darwin
Sweeper keeper.
Obviously, he can't use his feet. Let's see if
he
can use his hands.
Noodles a goal. That'd be perfect.
So we touched on it in the chat earlier when we first the Cancelo news was first breaking. Lewis, you mentioned that you think Pep's going to change the system if y'all don't get a replacement.
I think
You don't think he's gonna maybe put trust in that youngster that was really bad last time he played, Gomez?
Well, the reason, like you've seen, even though he tries young guys, he's not a big fan of young guys, you know. And I mean, he's playing for the city is playing for something all the time. So I think what you're going to see is Ake probably and Laporte will probably marshal those two sides. Where then, because Stones is out probably for what, about a month.
Is
You,
he really? Oof.
Wow.
it's probably about a month. So that means that your center back pairing will be likely.
Diaz just came back, right?
Who's that?
Diaz, Ruben.
Yes, Diaz just came back, but I think he's going to run four fullbacks across the back. Whereas if Walker is in there, Walker will play like as a center half, since that's what he's been transitioning to anyways. And I think they're just going to play three in the back in most cases, where either you have an inverted guy on the left or the right, which is why, even though I joke about Foden, I wouldn't be shocked to see Phil Foden playing on the left side.
That overload, man, that would be. Ooh.
To have
Is
like,
that overload?
to have
they
like
That would be unfair to
they can
that
hit
with
that
that
overload.
overload.
It's over.
Foden, Bernardo, and who would be the other one? Yeah,
On the
Rodri.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
overload. Whew, it would not be fun to defend.
Foden, Rodri, De Bruyne, and Silva. Well, I mean, Silva may not even be playing because apparently he's, his head's not in it anymore or whatever. So he may not be. We may not see him much.
It's just so weird, because then, Jake, it goes back to your question about, the guys being spoiled. If I'm not mistaken, nobody on that City team has ever won the Champions League. Imagine having a team that's primed to win the Champions League, and you say, well, you know what, because my feelings are hurt or whatever, I'm not going to be at my best to bring a trophy to a team that has never won the trophy. I mean, maybe I'm a team guy, and I'm like, hey, I mean, I understand if I won it, but if I've never won the damn thing, I just feel like that's what I'm going for. So why would I care? I'd be always ready to get called on to be my best, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Okay, man. That's why you're here on the For the Badge.
That's right.
My
That's
friend.
right. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do we think tomorrow about, or what will be, I guess, people watching this after the fact, what do we think will be the biggest headline at the end of this all? Take Boley out of it, because of course Boley's going to do something, but who's gonna do something out of nowhere?
Liverpool.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Liverpool?
do you think Liverpool just on some crazy whim, 150 million for Jude Bellingham?
Well, I heard that
Grab
they
Xavi from
made a
Barca.
bid and they already got turned down.
Of course they got turned down. Bellingham's not going anywhere in January.
No.
I have two Liverpool friends, and they said their literal sentiment across the Liverpool board is Liverpool needs help in the midfield, and they buy Gakpo. So I'm just saying they get it. So I think they're gonna buy somebody, because they can't just give up on the season. They're not that far off.
No.
Yeah. They've just been knocked out of the cup against a Brighton team who they barely held a candle to.
Can't even
in
tread
3
water.
attempts. And I don't know, man. It's bad. Who's even out there? Like, are they just they're gonna hijack the Enzo deal just out of nowhere?
They gotta grab Xavi from or Gavi from
They're
Barca.
gonna get Gavi from Barca.
Since he can't
That's
play.
a billion, y'all. Remember that.
That is so dumb. That's the dumbest thing ever.
So dumb.
Really, a billion. Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I think
800
that's
mil.
honestly where this whole like forcing transfers and whatnot has come, because you've got these Spanish clubs who have these huge buyout clauses that are unrealistic.
You can keep him. You can keep him, bro. I'm good. I don't need him.
Yeah.
I will find somebody just as good from
You'd
some
find
small
20
town
for $1 billion.
for $1 billion. No,
Like
I'll have Jets
build a
come bomb
team.
your stadium for $1 billion. Yeah, I'll build a whole new team for $1 billion. I'll buy your team and then shut it down
Yeah.
for $1 billion.
Just go buy Tottenham and end it.
Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Oh man.
No,
No,
we don't.
but
And we need somebody to hate on
No,
everyone.
need
we
somebody to hate
gotta
on.
we gotta have
Just
a
buy them
mutual
and don't
hate.
give them any money. That way they just stay above like keep them just in it, just above relegation, and just let them just get just.
The Everton, you mean? You know,
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of just above, old Sean Dyche is back.
oh man,
Oh,
I
man.
thought we got rid of Burnley and all that. Oh gosh.
Never.
Oh, you know he's gonna be a pain in the ass.
What
Not
is
because
dead may never die.
that's
Like,
true. Even though he doesn't have the talent really to work with.
They're not going to score any goals.
I don't see how they score.
They
Poor
will-
Conor Gallagher if he gets sent there. Oh man, I feel so bad for him. I don't think he's
it'd be
going
a
to.
it would be a Jesse Lingard to not.
Yo, Nottingham making moves in the window.
Yeah, Kaylor
sound like-
Navas.
They sound like 4 people.
They're in on Kaylor Navas too.
No.
Yes.
There's no way, my
There's no
man.
way.
Yes.
There's no way he's gonna take up their entire budget.
A question. So I just saw, because I was curious about the Liverpool thing. Apparently, Jurgen Klopp wants Liverpool to go for, it feels like a shock, but they want them to go for Conte.
You can have them. You can have them. Fire sale. 30 mil, 40 mil. You can have them. Get them off. You can have them.
But why?
You know
Why? I
what?
don't get
Because
it.
he's gonna play 2 games and he's gonna blow that hammy. You can have him. You
But
can
I don't
have
get
him.
it.
Oh my God.
Because they got
I'm
to have somebody older than James Milner to make him look good.
Like, I just don't get it.
Klopp's
What
just,
are they
Klopp's just
doing?
trolling the media at this point.
I had to look, and I was like, that can't be the deal. That can't be the deal they're looking for.
They said, who's gonna make James not look old? Conte.
They really said Conte. Like, it's like I'm looking at the thing. It's the top 4 stories. Conte.
That would be a perfect irony to the Torres deal because they gave us a busted striker that never panned out. We'll give them a busted midfielder that won't pan out. It'll be even. We'll be even.
The funny thing is, El Nino then went to Atletico and was halfway decent again.
Halfway. He
Hey,
came
listen.
from, yeah.
El Nino, he made his money when he hit the Champions League.
I was about to say, all he had to do was score that
Barcelona.
one goal. Made
All
his
he had to do
entire
was
budget.
that. It was all
that,
good.
that one goal. That's it. But no, Liverpool are in shambles. Literally, they need help. They're not getting help. At least you can see Chelsea making moves. Yeah, we might be throwing a bunch of cash like into the window and just seeing what sticks. But like at least it's something. It's not nothing. Like Liverpool aren't doing anything about the stumbling giant that's taken place other than buying more attackers, thinking that that's their issue when it's not. In reality, Liverpool's real issue is going to be Virgil van Dijk. The reason why they had 6 good years is because Virgil van Dijk was in his prime. For those 6 years, you're not getting past him, a Virgil van Dijk. He's one of the best defenders that will play in the Prem in his prime. I'll give him his dues. He's an amazing defender, but he's not that anymore. He cannot compete like to that level anymore. He's not Thiago Silva when Thiago Silva was 25. I'll admit that for Thiago Silva we got now. Yeah, he's good,
He still
but he is not. But he's still good. I'm not taking anything away from those guys. Virgil's still an amazing defender. He's not that defender he was 3 years ago. He's not that defender that he was 4 years ago before this last injury spell.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not Casemiro either. I mean,
He's not fighting Father Time.
No, seriously. Okay, seriously. Kaylor Navas is set to sign for the Reds, Nottingham Forest, on a 6-month loan deal. PSG will foot a large percentage of his $200,000 a week wages.
They need him off the wages.
Wages, like all of the wages.
Yo, Forest are making moves. They're looking to hijack the McKinney deal. They're looking to sign Voldemort from Newcastle.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna get
They're gonna sign
Shelby. Yeah.
from Newcastle, man. They signed Chris Wood from Newcastle. That's actually a decent pickup. I think, and he might go right into the starting lineup.
I don't know why he wouldn't go right in. Is it starting lineup?
He gives Forrest something that they didn't have, which was a target man. Instead of all their guys trying to run in behind, Chris Wood can be the target.
Did we say something about Jorginho going to Arsenal? Was that real?
Look. If it's real, and I'm going to love it if it is, because Arsenal makes this mistake every time they're doing well. We send somebody over there and it's just like completely one slip, ruins the game, gives away a red card.
William was decent when he came when he came.
That's because William isn't just a heartless human being, but
Just-
David Luiz, I swear, was a plant. I swear David Luiz was
He
a
had
plant.
to have
Some
been.
of those defensive
He
breakdowns
had to
that
have
he
been.
had was a straight plant.
Hey, we returned the favor. Lil
did.
Yachty's just
Lil
collecting
Yachty.
check. Lil Yachty just collected.
Hey, at
just
least he's not
smiling,
costing us games. Like
sitting there with that big old coat, just
the big
laughing.
old coach just mass, yeah,
Well-
getting his $200,000 every week, just loving it.
Listen. Georgie already knows how to score for Arsenal because he's done it while at Chelsea.
I
I
I
actually
think
don't think that
Georgie.
it's a bad that it would be a bad pickup. He would ride the bench and be backup.
Honestly, I
Kind
don't
of
want
where
us
he's
to
at in
send
his
him.
career, though.
I don't want us to send him because I want to see him with an actual like team to play the ball to. Because
don't
he
wanna see him win
was
a
good. Huh?
He's already
You
won
still want to
one.
see him come to Arsenal after being with Chelsea for so long and win a title.
I mean, he's won
No,
everything.
seriously. I do want to see him with some of this talent and see, because I mean, the guy can pick a pass. I would like to see him with somebody who can actually take that pass and do something with it or create some space so that he can pick that pass. If he goes to
happened to
Arsenal, he
Mason
goes to
Mount?
Arsenal.
What happened to
That's what I'm
Mason
saying.
Mount? He's been with
Georgie
Mason Mount
loses.
for years.
Georgie loses his spot because we're gonna have to make a decision. No, because
Kovacic. What about
Georgie's gonna lose his
Kovacic?
spot on this team. Conte is gonna come back and he's gonna replace Kovacic. Conte is gonna get hurt and then Kova's gonna come right back on.
He ain't replacing anybody in that electric wheelchair.
I'm telling you, he'll play a couple games. Like he's gonna get hurt. He's gonna play a couple more games. You can't sit and go. I know. That's why I'm more than happy to sell him to Liverpool. I'm not against that. I'm fine with that. The man is past. Like he's done. He's
hanging out
over the
with
hill. He's injured.
man.
He's
But
actually
you're okay
part
with
of
us keeping Dave
Look.
over Conte.
Yes.
Also,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
he's in that. Yeah,
Yes.
Walker
But-
stats.
But with the Georgie, he loses his spot in his lineup, especially when Felix comes back. If we play Mount and decide that Mount is going to be that playmaker or that support role for them, like where does Georgie fit? You have Kova, you're going to have a Conte sub. If that's where Georgie's role was going to be, it's not going to happen because if Conte does stay healthy, at least we'll use him and utilize him in those cup games and in the subs and the rotation. You have Mount. He's not going to. I don't think he's going to sit. I don't think he's going to start over Felix, and I don't think he's going to start over Mount because Mount has the love of the fans. Mount might not be the best on the field, but he has the love of the fans in the club.
Does he though?
Yes,
Well, I'm not so sure on the fan side of things.
I've seen some things in recent weeks talking about Mount's really letting some Chelsea fans down.
I think Potter again. It has nothing to do with Mount. You run Mount the right way, like Tuchel did. Mount produces. Potter does not. Ever since Potter's came in, Mount has not been. He has been a shell of the player he was.
Yeah. So
He is
does
not utilized.
does
correctly.
Foley go for another 16 signings before the end tomorrow?
I
I think he goes for 2. He's going to get Enzo for sure.
Yeah, Enzo didn't even. Yeah, because Enzo didn't practice with his team. He left the training ground. Like they told him not to come back. Like there's a whole bunch of things
Yeah.
going around about Enzo.
We
right
flew to pick him up this evening.
now. Yeah. That's pretty much a done deal.
There's a plane waiting to bring him back.
Benfica.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm. And we
Yeah.
love buying players from. Everybody does actually.
Yeah.
Man, they've spent so much money. I'm not even hating. Spend all of it.
Spend
They
it.
spent over $500 million in 2
Spend it.
windows.
Spend
Yeah.
all of it.
We were barred from spending any for 2 windows.
But no,
So
seriously,
it's like,
seriously.
But they're all
I-
young players. Like no one's talking about the fact that y'all are building. Yes, it kind of looks like Nottingham Forest, and it kind of looks like FIFA Football Manager. But
he's
they're all
definitely
young.
playing.
It's
Right.
it's
You
the
can kinda-
2030 project. That's what it's
Kind of
called.
see a method to the madness.
Again,
It's a
I don't
2030
understand where
project.
we're gonna fall into the same problem that Liverpool is though. If we don't start picking up defenders, our defenders are crypt keepers. They made the tombstone that they rolled in front of Jesus's thing. They were there. Like
Well, that's not bad.
Badashali, Fofana. You're talking about 2 guys in their 20s.
James will be back sometime. And
James Chilwell.
get injured again. I mean,
Hey,
I'm worried about Fofana not panning out. So I don't think that that's a goodbye. I didn't think it was a goodbye when we bought him.
he was decent.
He was good before he got that first injury at Leicester. He was
decent.
really good, actually. But no, what I was going to say is the 2030 project. That's what's referred to as is a plan that is based on not only buying youth players and building the squad that way, but also cutting down the wage bill. And that's why they've spread it out so far, for one. But two, I heard that if Chelsea does buy another striker, it's going to be like a 21, 22-year-old. They're not buying these older players anymore because they want to have something to build towards in the future. And I really like it because it's actually got a plan to it. With Roman, it was, let's just go buy this guy. Let's go get him. Let's go get him. And that was fine. I had no problem with it. I loved it. But I like
Except
that
that
there was
with
a plan.
Roman, he would listen to what Mourinho wanted.
What Mal wanted.
He
Mal
would
told him
listen
to go
to
get
what
He
Conte
said, go get Drogba, go get Maluda, and
Yeah.
I will win you a championship. And guess what he did? He went and got Drogba, went and got Maluda, and we won him a championship.
It's the other way
But-
around now. It's the
And
other way
now
around.
it is. Exactly. Now the ownership is telling the manager who he has to play because Boyle is the one buying these players. Potter doesn't.
Not
That's why
anymore.
Tuchel got,
No.
that's
Nah,
why
that's
Tuchel
done,
got
though.
canned.
That day is done.
That's why Tuchel got
No,
canned.
that's
He's
not
out
why.
with
I mean, that's not happening now.
Yes.
Maybe it
is.
happened. Maybe it happened early on, but
Yes, it is.
he's brought too many people in here recently for that to be the case. Like, he's not even
You
director
think
of football.
You think Clearwater is going to you think a $1 billion corporation is going to give the reins to this? No, they have budgeted out market strategy. They budgeted out long term. Like you said, the 2030 plan, it's not. Those days are gone. I'm telling you, whoever comes and manages this club is going to be a plug-in. It's football manager. They're going to be a plug-and-play manager because they have set out and they're money-balling this. They're treating it like baseball. You can see it. You can see what they're doing. They're building for a future. That way they have jersey sales. They set up a culture at the club that they want, and they're money-balling it. That's all they're doing.
Then what? It confuses the appointment of Potter if that's what they're doing. Like, why?
Potter's a yes man. What is he going to do? He's not going to be a Tuchel. He's not going to say, "Give me these guys." That's why we're not winning.
Well,
Hakeem
who's gonna
Ziyech
develop
is in Paris to seal a loan move to
Bye.
PSG.
Bye. Y'all can have them.
I
Well,
just
who's gonna
saw that.
develop the players?
Yep.
Don't require someone to develop them. I feel like that seems a little backwards.
I think that's what he's banking on, these younger or these clubs that he's buying them from. Benfica classic club to train and bring up young players. Ajax is notorious for it. Borussia Dortmund notorious for it. Where if you get a younger guy from those clubs, usually they come with the skill sets that you need to just kind of ride them out for the next couple of years and then offload them towards their 30s.
But this is where my question is coming from, because then it just leads me to the point where the argument, for example, the Pep Guardiola argument, you give him $1 billion and look what he did. Of course, he's supposed to win, but like you've seen teams spend a ton of money. And if you don't have the right person fostering these guys, I mean, what difference does it make? This is where I would 1,000% agree with what's happening at Chelsea if Tuchel was the manager. If Tuchel was the manager, I'd absolutely be like, they're going to be like,
Thank you.
If Tuchel, that's not who the manager is.
If Tuchel would have stayed and had Petr Cech not left, had Cole not left, had Marina not left, had the overall arching of what the club was and what we were building, like Cobham's in shambles.
But this is where I think like having a yes man for that doesn't really help what they're doing unless the youth manager is developing them and they got a Pep Guardiola sitting there and they're waiting to take over. I'm just not following that. I mean, I get there's a plan, but I mean, you got to have a manager in place because at some point, the inmates will run the asylum, and I think that becomes an issue. And so say you get some guys who start getting egos, like a la what happened in City recently. If you don't have a personality that can control that, I mean, that's going to destroy your club. And you spent billions of dollars, and what do you have? I mean, Chelsea is good enough location-wise, legacy-wise, where they should be top 4 to 6 every year.
Every year. There's no excuse for us to not be in European football. Ever. Given the money at the club, given the clout at the club, given what we've come from in the last decade, there is no excuse for this club not to be in any type of European football. And if you miss that mark, you failed that club.
But this
again,
is
I think
right now.
Though that you keep forgetting this is a totally different club now. It's a totally different mindset. It's a totally different vision. It's a vision that is built upon building a strong nucleus, and we're not doing it through the youth squad because we don't have it. So we got to go and buy it. And I think that's one reason why. I mean, maybe Potter's a yes man. I don't know. One of the things that I read about him is that they really liked his flexibility in terms of, uh, formations, how he got his teams to play, and that would make it so that they could plug and play guys a little bit more, so to speak. But I think that you kind of have to take a step back, realize this is a whole different setup. Like, I mean, Marino, she was great. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but she also went and bought what? David Zappa or Zapta or Zappacoda or whatever. I mean, there were
We
some
won.
bad buys along
Here's
the
the
way
difference. Here's
too.
the difference. Fine, you can have bad buys.
Zappacosta, yeah.
We won with Zappacosta. He was
No,
on
we
the
didn't.
roster. We won. Yes, we did. We had him for 2 years.
Well, and my thing is still, even if that's the place where you're buying a bunch of guys, I still think the manager matters. For example, Barcelona basically did what Chelsea is doing, and then they brought in a manager, and now all of a sudden they're top of the table, and you're like, because you got to think like it, but you knew what this guy was bringing, and so this is where I'm confused about. I mean, I get the buying part, but you got to have the right manager. And you saw Barcelona went through like 3 or 4 managers until they was like, this is our guy. We knew this is our guy.
No, and I 100% agree with you. And Patrick, to your point is, yes, I understand that it is different. I am highly critical of it because I do not see this Americanization and this mindset working in the Premier League and English League football. This club cannot afford to have 5, 6, 7 bad years while we try to rebuild and plug and play and get this stuff right. He spent all this money. We have to get it right. Potter is not the guy to lead this helm. If you have these players, you need a Mao, you need a Pep, you need a Zidane, you need a Xavi, you need an Arteta. He's not at that level. He cannot manage. You bring in these guys, Mud Dog scores 30 goals, and now he has this, like Lewis is talking about, this ego or this I am this club, or I am now a part and a mold of this club. What made Chelsea special and what they built with this unique young core, that what he's trying to do is emulate the Terry Lampard, I would say Drogba, but he was kind of a little bit older when he came in. He's trying to emulate this core build for the club, but again, those were men. He built that. This club was built upon people who were natural born leaders. We have brats in the league now who will pitch a fit and will cause issues, and that's what City's running into, because you can spend all the money in the world, you can have all the talent in the world. I just don't think, yes, while Potter is a player's manager, the players tend to like him because he is that type of he's not going to command this club to be 1, 2, 3, 4 European giants that we need to be. And I'm telling you, it's going to show when we play Borussia Dortmund, and I hope it opens everyone's eyes to what the fact is actually going on at this club, even with all these players brought in. He's not a manager. That's my biggest issue. I don't have that big of a problem with Boyle. I think the appointing him was a bad mistake, and he cannot own up to that mistake, which is why he has not let him go. I think that he made that initial choice. They ran with it, and now it's an embarrassment. He has this personality to where I don't make mistakes. Potter wasn't the mistake. Potter was the temporary fix, and we'll move on and not make it look like a mistake. Because if I sack him right now, that means I was wrong.
The answer at Chelsea is Jurgen Klopp.
The chance.
No, God, no.
The answer at Chelsea, honestly,
Hey,
with the guys that we're bringing in.
Prosperity.
Hey,
that's true. It'd be 7
this is
years.
true.
There you
He
go.
can't rebuild a club, but yeah, he can coach one.
You'll have 7 good years.
But my thing is yes, I'm highly critical, and I understand that it's different, and I understand the ideal and the vision. I just don't. I'm 100% with Lewis. I just don't think that we have the leadership to carry this plan out. I have no faith in him, absolutely none. If you can't win games, at least hold points. He can't do either. It takes nothing to shut out a game. Mao proved that. It takes nothing to make these guys be disciplined and play defense. If you can't beat them, we'll draw. We'll take points home. We'll take points home because that gets us up the table. We'll take points home. That gets us up the table. This man's out here taking 3 O's, 2 O's, acting like we're not embarrassed about it.
Yeah, I think X. It's about time you just accept that you got a long road in front
It
of you.
shouldn't be that way.
No, that's the way it is, though, man. Look at it. United's taken 10 years to get back to where their fans are excited. Arsenal's taken who the flip wants to even count how many years to get back
12?
to where we're excited about things going on, So it could be a long process, and it could be a what time is it now? Here on the East Coast of America, it's 11:16, so that means there is 18 hours left in the transfer window.
Yep. 18 hours left in the window.
And
By
so
noon.
6 o'clock tomorrow here on the East Coast of US, it'll be over. And I'm sure there will be plenty more to talk about. We will be back for the next episode. We'll be doing the Premier League preview, a juicy one on Friday. Fulham go to the bridge. So that's going to be a tough one. We'll definitely get into the preview there. Some juicy games in the weekend coming up. But this has been the For the Badge podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and I hope you have a wonderful night.